The best way I know how to describe Winfield is it's a feeling. It's something that so many people live for every year, and the minute it's over you start counting down the days till the next time it comes around. It's all about family, even outside of your camp. I mean, everybody there in some sort of fashion is family. You walk down the street for the first few days and everybody's like, happy Winfield, hey, good to see you. There's people you don't know their name, but you see them every year and you recognize them, and it's a wonderful environment to be in. The music is non-stop, the food is amazing, the people are amazing, and it's just one of the most positive environments I think I've ever been in.
There's the constant sound of music, banjos, mandolins, guitars, and you just get all kinds of random instruments. I've seen people make instruments out of things that I never knew could be instruments. The biggest smell of bluegrass is the smell of campfire. Campfire for us is associated with bluegrass. And when I pull into Winfield for bluegrass, the smell has taken over the whole town, and the first thing we do is roll down the windows and just take in the air.
A major part of Winfield, or bluegrass as I call it, is roaming around and seeing the people and listening to different music. I know a lot of people cover a lot of miles in that period of time, whether it be a week or a couple of days or however long people are there for. Whether it's walking or riding a bike, there's children in strollers everywhere. Some people have golf carts, but we basically just walk around, and the first few days that you're there, you're walking around to go see all these different people at different camps. There's a camp called the Rat Camp, and they give out buttons every year, and so that's always a first stop. There's a Stillwater camp, and there's a woman there that makes necklaces, and she gives them out. And so you always go by there kind of towards the beginning before the necklaces are out. There's several big camps you stop by, and we spend a lot of time down at what we call our sister camp, which is Joke Camp and the Greenhorns. And we had known the Greenhorns for several years. They're actually a bluegrass band. The year that it flooded, everybody got relocated, and we ended up out at the Winfield City Lake. And the Greenhorns ended up there as well. And when we went to see them, they were camped next to what's called Joke Camp. And we just formed this friendship that year with the Joke Camp, and even more with the Greenhorns for myself. And since then, Joke Camp and Greenhorns, they camp together now every year. And they're basically like our sister camp. We go back and forth between their camp, they go back and forth between ours and theirs, and they have wonderful music down there, and we have a lot of talented music in our camp. So we'll switch off places for everybody to play. And another really cool part about the walking is that people just stop on the road and start playing. Whatever instrument they have, they stop and they join in, and everybody says hey. Some people don't even say hey. Some people stop, they start playing, song's done, they walk on. My parents decided to go back to bluegrass to kind of get into the camping in around 2000. And my mom's best friend from high school introduced them to a group of people from the Kansas City area. And they had a camp at the time called Camp Flip the Bird. It kind of started dissembling, and we got to know these people really well, and we continued to camp with them. And I believe it was in 2006 that Camp Camo was formed, and every single one of us just happened to love camouflage. And we ended up going with Camp Camo, K-A-M-O, for Kansas and Missouri. My parents and I are actually the only people from Kansas out of the group. Everybody else is from Missouri. And so that just stuck. We've got everything camouflage theme every year. The ladies bring gifts to each other, whether it's a hammer that's camouflage, or we do buttons, we've done bracelets, we do koozies, we've done a variety of things and stuck with that camouflage theme. And they've also become our second family, basically. And over the years, we don't just see each other once a year at Bluegrass. We get together. They've become our extended family.
It used to just be a free-for-all. You could come whenever you wanted, you could start camping, and as it grew, they had to do something different. The land rush happens the Thursday before the festival. It starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. People come, like I said, about 3 weeks prior to land rush, and so a lot of people will devote a month of their time and their money to be sure that they get their good number in land rush, therefore they get the spot that they've had all these years.
Way down Ridge Mountain, way down where the tall pines grow, lives my sweetheart of mountain. She's my little boy.
Probably about 2 months out, I start a countdown. Probably about a month out, I start making my list. Same stuff I take every year, but I start making my list. I make my grocery list. In our camp, every person in our camp has a food night. Each person takes turns feeding everybody in camp all night. I mean, there's a lot of planning that goes into it.
I want to do her little part. She'd smile at me. I would tell her that she was my own sweetheart. Way down Ridge Mountain, way down where the tall pines grow, lives my sweetheart of mountain. She's riding on Georgia Road.
I've done that. I'm sorry.
What her mom couldn't understand. Way down.
The family feeling down there has got to be the biggest thing. There are people I only see one time a year. You know where they're going to be. It's our own little world down there. And I live for it every year. I can't wait.
I'm a proud member of the Camp Comfortable Shoe, and they've gone for many, many years. I went for my second time, and when you go to Winfield, there's about 5 main stages, and I learned there's even a couple more, like there's maybe 7 main stages where a variety of music's played. 3 of those stages, one is in the stadium and have huge stars. I mean, big stars come in, like, oh gosh, they had Michael, Martin, Murphy. Well, I liked the fact that there's a lot of music being played. So, like, there's thousands of people there, and they set up camps, and they play music all night. I mean, people my age, I'm 61, they play music all night. And for the most part, there's no violence. I heard about one fight that broke out, and a couple of big guys just stopped these young guys and said, "There's no fighting at Winfield." So it's music lovers. It's primarily bluegrass, but then every kind of music you can imagine gets played there. I mean, basically, Winfield is kind of like the bluegrass Woodstock. Oh man, lying by the side of the road, and the lorry rolling by. Blue winds shaking from the weight of the load, and the buildings scrape the sky. Cold wind ripping down the alley of town, and the morning paper flies.
The one thing that's unpredictable about bluegrass is the weather. This year we had a pretty massive storm. Last year we had tornado sirens. A couple years before that we had a flood. There's been years that it was over 100 degrees. There's been years that there was snow, sleet, hail, whatever kind of weather you could possibly think of, we've had it. And that's the only thing that's unpredictable about it. And no matter what the weather is, they will come. Everybody will be there. And you will never ever regret going to that place. And I guarantee you when you leave, you'll be thinking 360 some days until I get to go back.